Alright, so Willet 4-year cask strength rye comes in at just over 109 proof. And this is like the Willet product that sold me on anything Willet at all.
Yeah. Like Willet.
Plus Johnny Drum, but it's like that's one that I don't dislike. I liked it more when I first tried it, and it sort of lost something for me.
Willet's Rye is like that's the known product that people enjoy. Johnny Drum was well known and well respected, and then they did something to change the recipe, and it's not as good as it used to be.
Right. But the rye has always been
yeah.
reliable.
Yes. Same with like Noah's Mill and Rowan's Creek. Those were both really solid for a while, and then they did something to change it up, and people didn't like it nearly as much. Right. So it's the one thing that Willet has kept consistent is their rye. I have not heard many people talk down on the rye unless they don't like dill notes, because it's rich in dill notes.
But that being said, Ryan liked it, and it has dill notes, and he does not like dill notes at all. So let's get into this and let's actually see where it stands.
That is sweet.
Mm-hmm. Sweet and very, very green.
Yeah, it's. I
get you can literally yeah.
It smells like a Amaro cocktail where like they throw nothing but a bunch of green botanicals into it. Like
and there is straight up a ginger ale note on the nose.
Yeah, there is
like
a ton of ginger ale. I don't get dill on the nose though.
Yeah, you get pretty much every other green to ever exist except ginger except dill.
That's different.
Then you taste it, and there's definitely some dill.
Yeah. But not the same way that there's like that bitter,
it's almost like a
vinegary dill.
Right, it's almost like a bread and butter pickle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like MGP has that vinegary
dill this is a very sweet dill note.
Yes. And personally, I don't know how I feel about it.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah. I know exactly how I feel about it. I like it.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Yeah.
There's something that's hit me a little wrong with it.
Did it go down the right pipe?
Yes.
So you didn't breathe it. That's good.
Alright, I have to take that back. The second sip was very different than the first.
It's fresh.
It's
very fresh. This is a very like a lot of ryes you don't think summer. A lot of ryes, even like the lightest, greenest ryes, you still think winter. Like that's just like that's why Midwinter Night's Grand has come to be a thing. That's why it's a fall release. It tends to you tend to gravitate toward it more in colder times because there's so much more spice and warmth to it.
Yes.
But this, I honestly would say, is an exception.
Yeah.
This is a very refreshing rye.
I feel like I'm sitting on the front porch. You know what I mean?
It's refreshing.
Yeah.
It feels like sitting on the porch in spring or like the beginning of fall before things start to get like aggressively fall.
This is I would say more of a springtime kind of rye, if that makes sense.
Springtime rye.
It has like a crispness, but not like a bite from it, if that makes sense. Like a lot of the dill notes still have like it's not a harshness, but that kind of dill is very distinct.
Yeah.
This is crisp, but not. This is not an exclamation point.
It's like
kind of flavor.
Drinkable and fresh.
Yeah.
What am I getting on it? I'm getting a ton of clove too. Yeah, I'm getting clove and something else.
Am I cardamom? No.
Cardamom a little bit, yeah. Because that is a spice that's prevalent in rye. Ouch.
Oh no.
Oof.
Oof.
Water?
In a second.
Water would be nice.
I hate you.
I hate me too, dude. No, but this is like this isn't my favorite rye by any stretch. But as much as I love the dill notes I get out of a lot of other ryes, this is my favorite way I've had it in a rye, personally.
Interesting. I gotta
Well,
say,
I tend to gravitate towards sweeter, so it kind of makes sense that when I get a dill note that has a sweet aspect to it, that it will sort of resonate more with me.
I think I prefer MGP's like vinegary sour.
I mean, overall, I do agree.
Yeah.
But I mean, part of it's the time of year. Like, you know,
That's
when
fair.
it's warm out, I would gravitate more toward this. I think it also depends what I want. We tried a bunch of bourbons tonight, so to throw a rye on the end, this kind of fits more with the bourbons than an MGP rye would.
Right. I don't dislike it, but this isn't a bottle I would keep on hand regularly.
I personally might.
I'd switch it out for anything that's MGP.
This is fair.
I personally think between the Old Scout single barrel that we had,
yeah, I guess
that sour vinegar dill note on it it just hits me perfectly.
So the way I see it is, we don't have to pick. I
This
can
is
have
true.
both. So I have both.
This is true.
This isn't something I gravitate toward all the time, but if I want something refreshing that still has like
The green
complexity and still is like bright and floral and green, this is what I go for. If I want something that's sweet but not like bourbon sweet.
This is perfect then, yes, because this is incredibly sweet. It's incredibly sweet.
It might be the sweetest rye I've had that isn't rum cask finished.
I might
That's
agree with
because
that.
those are absurdly sweet. Angel's Envy Rye, for example.
Angel's Envy Rye is sweet, but it's not as bad as Basil Hayden's Rye.
Yeah, that's just because it has some proof behind it. That Angel's Envy Rye, though, I swear to God, it felt like I was drinking a rum finished in a rye barrel.
It was
It's the other
sticky.
way around.
I feel like if you spilled any of that on you, it would feel sticky. In most liquors, that's not going to be the case.
Yeah. It felt, especially for a rye, like I hardly got any rye notes. It was so sweet.
Yeah.
It was, like, the Angel's Envy Rye in particular was overpowered by rum.
I'm starting to think that just American whiskey doesn't pair well with rum finishes.
I agree.
Like, it can do well with dry or white wine. It can do well with port if it's the right rye. But American whiskey doesn't do
It
well
could
with
obviously do well with a second new barrel.
yeah.
I mean, they do double oaking better than anyone.
Yeah. I have to agree.
Bourbon lends itself, especially bourbon lends itself
Yeah.
to double oaking.
Double oaking or
Rye
toast,
does too, because it sort of complements it and adds complexity. It doesn't overpower anything; it just adds more.
I have to agree.
But
like, this is a solid rye.
Yes.
Like, I don't hate it. It's
like
not my
what
favorite.
we described as something you'd like, you'll love this rye.
If you like sweet green dill notes, this is it.
Yeah.
If you want something a little more sour and less sweet,
The traditional
MGP.
spicy rye,
MGP
you
is
wouldn't
the
go for
best.
this. You go for if you want like that. If you want a rye like this, you're probably more likely to lean toward a Canadian rye as well.
I'd agree with that.
It's more. I would say this is more reminiscent of a Canadian rye than an American rye.
I have to agree.
Has
Except for the
similar-
sweetness.
Yes.
Most Canadian ryes are not as sweet as that.
Right. But the flavor profile, especially the bread and butter pickle.
Yeah.
Sort of. It's more noticeable in a Canadian rye.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cheers.